Welcome back to the special coverage of the Constitutional Convention. Thank you for joining us. We have some exciting updates to bring you, but first, Channel 8 recently sat down in exclusive interviews with 3 historians. Let's see what they had to say about slavery and the convention.
None of the delegates went to Philadelphia to deal with slavery. They were there to build a government. And they kept coming upon slavery. It kept being relevant to the representation issue, to the regulation of trade, with the slave trade. So they kept bumping into it, and they would have much preferred never to have to talk about it. And when they ran into it, they suddenly found themselves on what James Madison identified quite accurately as the true fault line of American politics at the time between North.
There were many people at the convention, I would say most, the vast majority, who were morally opposed to the institution of slavery. But it was very clear that there would be no union if they tried to abolish the institution in 1787.
Part of the issue with slavery and some of the issues that the delegates had to deal with were purely economic. Those economic decisions drove their approaches, the delegates' approaches in some ways, to the issue of slavery. In those areas where folks believed that slavery was integral to the particular economy, they protected it, and they protected it fiercely. In those areas where they believed that slavery was less important to the economy, it was less likely to be protected.
Okay, so we are getting word now that an agreement has been reached regarding how populations of states will be counted towards representation in Congress. Very exciting stuff right here live in Independence Hall. Let's turn now to get an up-close look at exactly what the agreement entails. The delegates have agreed on what is being called the 3/5 Compromise, which says that for every 5 slaves in a state, 3 will be counted in the population. This number will help determine how many representatives each state will have in the House of Representatives, and as states pay direct taxes to the national government. This is an interesting agreement, because surely the southern states, who have no interest in giving slaves rights or freedoms of any kind, fought to have their slaves counted towards the population so they can have more representatives in Congress. Northern states, on the other hand, who would like to abolish slavery altogether, have fought to reject slaves as part of the population. So southern states do not have as much voice in Congress. We will continue to follow this story as it continues to break. We are also being told that when it comes to taxation, the agreement has been reached so that Congress does have the power to pass laws that allow them to collect taxes from citizens. And Congress will also have the power to regulate commerce with foreign nations, among states, and with Native American tribes. Now, an additional agreement has also been reached directly regarding the issue of slavery and the slave trade. Delegates have agreed to postpone dealing with the issue until at least the year 1808. A new clause states that Congress will not have the power to end the Atlantic slave trade until 1808 at the earliest. Well, we knew that slavery probably wasn't going anywhere anytime soon, and that has been confirmed today as these new agreements emerge from the convention. Delegates from North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia apparently threatened to leave the convention if these agreements were not included in the new Constitution. Now, we will certainly be interested in finding out how the rest of the convention turns out. The convention is expected to last through the end of the summer, and stay tuned for the final version of our country's brand new Constitution. I'm Ms. Schaefer. This has been a special report with NEMS Channel 8. See you next time.